Hey, it's Meg. Welcome back to my channel. This week on the journaling workshop, we are going to be looking at interactive elements that you can add to your art journal pages. I'm going to share 5 easy ways that you can do this. They are beginner friendly, and I'm also going to show you some examples through my own journals as well. So if you're looking for some inspiration, then hopefully this helps you to get creating in your own journal. So the first one is fold out sections. So this is where you add an extension to your page. So it could be in the middle or on either end, and you just attach that so then it folds out and it creates more space. So you could have it covering the entire page, or you could have it only covering like a part of the page as well. And obviously when you're attaching your fold out section, you want to make sure that it's secure to the page and it's not going to fall off randomly as you're using your journal. So you could either glue like a section of the page to the journal page itself, and then that way it can fold out. You could also use some washi tape or staples, and if you're looking for a way that doesn't interrupt the page, then using clear sellotape is a great way to make sure that it's fixed to the page nicely and that it doesn't get in the way of anything else that you've got going on. So fold outs are just a really easy way to add more journaling space when you're working in your art journal. The second interactive art journaling element that you can use is known as a tip-in. So this is kind of similar to the fold out element, except it's not an extension of your page. It's more about adding little bits to your pages. So it could be a postcard, something that's like post-it note shaped, and you attach it maybe with some washi or a stapler like the fold out. And it's just another way of adding extra things to your pages. So you could hide information that's underneath, and then when it's lifted, that's revealed. So you just need a piece of paper, or like I said, you could use a postcard for this, anything that you've got, and just some tape. And then you can attach it either to the sides of your pages or in the middle. There's lots of different ways that you can play around with this. I find the ones where you create them with vellum are quite interesting because you get that kind of see-through element, and it's just overall a great way of layering different papers and textures in your journal. My third idea for you is pockets and envelopes. Now this may sound really simple, but there are so many different ways that you can include these within your pages, using different papers, different materials, making your own pockets, or even using pre-made ones to attach them to your pages. You could bind a whole journal just with envelopes and use the pockets that kind of manifest themselves from that. So it's important to think about what you're going to be putting inside the pocket when you're using the envelope in your journal. So if you're putting like small things like tickets, photographs, a small little pocket might be okay. However, if you want to add maybe some larger things, a folded up letter or different pages, you might need a pocket that is more sort of down the side of one page. So you could sort of washi tape the top and the bottom of 2 pages together to give yourself a hidden pocket in between the pages, or you might just want a small little tuck spot that you can add a tag in and just have that interactive element within your page. So you could include tickets, postcards from a trip maybe, or you could decorate it with washi tape and stickers to add a little bit more decoration to them. You could also include notes, sketches, thinking about more of a commonplace book type of way of including the pockets within your journals. You could use vellum. Here I'm using a stitched pocket. There's loads of different ways that you can use pockets and envelopes in your journal to create more storage space within your journals. And so following on from that, the fourth idea for interactive elements is of course to use tags within your journals. So you could include these in pockets, you could create them and use them as one of the tip-ins in your journal. They're just a really great way to add different elements to your pages, to add some creativity, and they are really great as well if you just want to do kind of some small bits of creating. You can just create tags and then have them ready for when you actually want to do a full journal page. You could include a focal image on these, you could include a quote, maybe some journaling on the back and a design on the front. There's loads of different ways that you can create tags for your art journal pages. And then of course adding the ribbon and the string to the hole at the top of a tag. I absolutely love when you can see that kind of peeking through like the top or the side of a journal. I just love the way that that looks. So it's a really interesting interactive element that you can add to your pages. Another interactive element that you can use in your journal pages is tabs. So these serve as little visual cues to kind of help you navigate through your journal, or if you want to bookmark like a certain page, if it was maybe your birthday or there was an event, you went on a trip, and these are sort of attached to the edge of your page, and then when you've got the journal closed you can kind of see them all dotted throughout. You can use papers, you can use fabrics, lace, ribbons. There's loads of different ways that you can add them, and they are just a really nice addition to your pages. You could also add them onto the tags that you create to add into pockets to make it easier to move the tags in and out of their spot. And it's just a really nice way to add some more colour and some more dimension to your pages. And so in this journal page, I'm actually working in my junk journal, so lots of different papers going on here. And I decided to fold the brown paper in, not in half, kind of into like maybe a third, and stitched along the bottom to create a bit of a pocket tuck spot. So it's a really easy way to use the page that's already there to create that space to add something different. And then I'm coming in with vellum. So I love to use this just because you can see through and see underneath when you're adding like a tip in. So it doesn't feel like it's obstructing the page. And I decided to add some stamping underneath here, again, just because you can see all of the different textural elements through the vellum. I ended up ripping the vellum because I really wanted to create a bit more texture on the page and wasn't quite keen on having it over the entire page. But that's kind of the joys of journaling, is that you can sort of make changes as you go and play with the different layouts. I'm just using a regular felt tip pen to write this quote. That's by Morgan Harbour Nichols. I just felt that it was perfect for this page, and I used some bold text because I felt like it contrasted really well with the detailed botanical illustration that I have underneath. And because this is a bit of a tip in, you can lift it up and it will lay flat obviously once it's been closed within the journal. And then I decided I wanted to add a tag into this tuck spot. So this tag I created for something previously and never got around to using it for whatever reason, so I decided to repurpose it for this journal page. So I'm just trimming it to size because I needed the tag to be a little bit skinnier for this shape of the tuck spot that we've got. So I'm just trimming it to size, and then I decided to add some cream paper onto the top just so that I had the contrast of the brown papers, because I felt like it was getting a little bit lost within the pocket. So you'll see here I just covered it with some cream paper, and I knew I wanted to keep this quite simple, so I just used that cream background and then came in with some washi-esque stickers and also some of my favourite rub-on stickers as well to create a bit of a floral collage on this tag. And then I left the back blank so that I can come in and do some journaling. My favourite on brown card or brown paper is to use a white gel pen just for that contrast. The one that's kind of my ride or die white pen is the white Uniball Signo. They do lots of different kind of thicknesses, and I just find that that's worked the best for me. And then I'm coming in and adding some details to this page, so I feel like no page of mine is ever complete without adding just a little sort of mark making or something to kind of break up the rigidness sometimes of the page. I feel like it can help to loosen it up. And especially when I've got all of these different elements, so I've got my tip in, I've got my tag, I've got my tuck spot, it's nice to have something that's flowing through the whole of the page just to help it feel a bit more cohesive and work together. So I hope you found this journaling workshop episode on interactive elements useful. I hope it gave you some ideas for things that you can include in your own journals, whether it's art journals, junk journals. I think that using some of these simple techniques and experimenting with how you can use different materials, different colours, is always a really fun way of mixing it up in your journals and just trying something new. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the journaling workshop. Everyone's response to this series has been so lovely, so thank you so much for watching. Next week we'll be going through some techniques for creating journal backgrounds, so stay tuned for that one. I'm really excited to share some ideas for journal backgrounds with you guys. So as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!